All right, the Trump administration, as everybody knows, is full of a bunch of dipshits that are over their skis on this Iranian war. Now they're going to go back to the table to do more negotiations with Iran. Meanwhile, Iran is trolling the United States with all of this online, like Lego propaganda. Have you seen that, Pumps?
Loved it.
It's crazy. All right. And then the Democrats have some issues here as well. As you know, Eric Swalwell has pulled out of the gubernatorial race, as he should have. And now he is going to resign from Congress, as he should. Pop this up. I'm deeply sorry to my family, staff, and constituents for mistakes in judgment I have made in my past. So I read a big article about this, and basically, these rumors were swirling all over the place. And this whole thing came to light because an influencer posted something about supporting Swalwell, a political influencer. And she received 3 or 4 comments from women who were like, be careful with him. Be careful, like he's a player. And so this whole thing started with these influencers and not through traditional media. They passed the stories on to CNN and the San Francisco Chronicle, where they have lawyers, journalists, a guardrail to protect if these are false allegations. And it turned out they weren't. Swalwell was lying through his teeth to his donors, to his staff, I assume to his wife, I assume to everyone in contact with him. So as you know, Pumps Gonzales, there were rumors about him forever. And the Republicans, specifically little Moses Mike Johnson, didn't want to do jack shit about it. But because the Democrats have raised the bar and said, no, we're not going to tolerate this. These allegations have meat on the bone. Even in the worst case, if it's him, sexually fooling around with interns, that is unacceptable. But the allegations are sexual assault. Gonzales, as everybody knows, multiple affairs. One of his staffers died by suicide. Another one, he's texting, I want you to squeeze my balls. The Republicans weren't going to do anything about this until Swalwell. And now they realize, okay, if we want Swalwell out, we have to throw our own under the bus. So he is resigning as well. Pop this up. There is a season for everything, and God has a plan for us all. When Congress returns tomorrow, I will file my retirement from office. It has been my privilege to serve the great people of Texas. Well, I wonder what God's plan was for the woman whom he sexually harassed and then committed suicide. And what was God's plan when you sent when you sent the text message that you wanted to have your balls squeezed? I just need to know, where does God fit into that message? Angie, do you have any insight into that?
I don't. I do not have any insight into that, but I'm sure he can come up with some bullshit about it. This to me was somewhat surprising because the margin is so thin with the Republican majority in the House. But something else I thought of, he is in a runoff in his district, and Trump called upon one of the two to withdraw from the race so there would not be a heated runoff. So to me, this is not a self-sacrifice. He's thinking, I'm going to get a kickback in return because I'm resigning, and now Trump's going to favor me because I did what he asked.
Okay. And then we have this situation yesterday where Trump posted an image of himself as Jesus, which he later explained he was confused and thought it was a doctor, which often people, senior citizens with dementia, can have this sort of confusion, in my opinion. He's a really old guy. Maybe back in the day, doctors wore robes and had long hair and carried orbs. I don't know. But he was rather confused about it. And Riley Gaines, a big Christian, she called him out. She was like, what's going on here? Does he mean to do this? She's not upset about little girls getting killed in Iran. She's not upset about migrant children being served food with worms in it. She's not upset about people being denied due process. She's not upset about wealth inequality. She's not upset about any of the egregious human rights violations done with her taxpayer money. She's upset about a meme that a man that has dementia and who is a sociopath posted on his dipshit social media platform, Lie Social, because he planned an insurrection where people beat up cops. So he got kicked off of all the other social media platforms. Riley was just upset about that meme. So Trump throws Riley under the bus, as is always with MAGA. Pop it up. When asked if he took the post down because of Gaines and others' criticism, Trump said no. I didn't listen to Riley Gaines. I'm not a big fan of Riley, actually. And then Riley responds to this. I love the president, and I am so grateful he's in the Oval Office. Of course, I'll continue to support him and the America First agenda. At the end of the day, I do nothing for the approval of a man. Our purpose on this earth is to glorify him, and all we do. The Truth Social post missed the mark. It's now deleted. Amazing! Exclamation point. We're imperfect people. I know I am. I don't get my feelings hurt easy. And I know with the president, it's really not personal. You're starting to catch on, Riley. I want to spend eternity in a real place called heaven. I'd love for Trump to be there too. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I'll keep doing my part by speaking truth and doing my best to lead others to Christ. And no, I won't be selling merch with his insults on them. Ha 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 ha. Ha. At the time that our producer posted this, prepared it for this episode, had 3 million views, but pop that back up, Kylie. I'm sorry. I want to respond to the MAGA Christians as follows. This sentence right here. I'll keep doing my part, speaking the truth, and doing my best to lead others to Christ. Everything about everything you just said, everything about your behavior, everything about the way you do not prioritize universal rights, everything about the way you bully trans people with zero empathy, does not lead me to your religion. It makes me think you're in a sick death cult. Seriously, there is nothing about your testimony or your witness where I think, oh my God, I want some of the serenity that Riley Gaines and all the dipshits at Fox News have. They seem uber peaceful. It is a joke. This is an absolute joke on display that these people think that this is admirable, that they are setting an example for others to follow.
They're setting an example to run away from this faith. But when I saw Trump's response to Riley Gaines, it took me back to when he gave her an award in the Oval Office, and he went on and on about how great she was because she came in 5th place, tied with a transgender woman in like the 100 millionth heat of some trial. She has made a career out of that. That is the one thing she has accomplished in her life, other than running people off from Christianity, is that she got the ear of the president, and her job full time is to go on Fox News and demean trans people. And so this is exactly what she deserved from the president. And I wasn't surprised she went around and kissed his ass again, because she has no other job. Like, her entire life revolves around 5th place in the millionth quarterfinal for some swimming tournament.
So, as is the job with all fascists, Riley, you are to get on TV every day and scapegoat a marginalized group of people so that the oligarchs can have more power. The one thing that your Lord and personal Savior, that you're trying to carve this beautiful tulip-lined sidewalk for all of us to walk down. Your Lord and personal Savior spoke out exclusively against the accumulation of wealth. And you sit there and marginalize people. And I don't even know if she's addressed the Big Titty Brian situation. I don't know if that's been addressed, but I would like to see that tidbit. I doubt she has. But speaking of Republicans and secrets and hypocrisy, we have to address Lady Graham. And TMZ is entering the political space. And I have to say, I'm kind of here for it, because politicians are ridiculous right now. They are fucking ridiculous. And mainstream media treats them as though it's like 1990. Like, hey, Lindsey Graham, what's your position on defensive missile systems? And it's like, these are the kind of questions I want asked to Lindsey Graham. Play the clip.
Lindsey Graham, how are you, man? I'm from TMZ. Could I just ask you about the bubble wand, sir? Could I talk quickly about the bubble wand?
Love it. And then here's Lindsey with the bubble wand at Disney, which we've covered for Lady Graham, is a Disney adult. He's never been accused of any sort of sexual misconduct by a woman. Have y'all ever seen that, Kylie? Ryan Pumps? No, I haven't either. And then we need to do a check-in with the MAGA podcasting world. And America's most famous crazy person, Candace Owens, is asking Trump if he's gay, and has linked it to Brigitte Macron. This is for you, Pumps. Play the clip.
Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. This Brigitte Macron, who did you write that sentence for? Not even Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron applauded that sentence, okay? They said incroyable. It doesn't help. Sometimes propaganda, when it's too naked, actually just hurts the cause that it purports to support. What is your obsession with Brigitte? This Brigitte Macron in the swimsuit, you think that you can command people, straight men, to suddenly think that Brigitte is hot? Did you date Jean-Michel Trogneau? Are you gay?
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, Candace Owens thinks that the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, used to be a man, and that Jean, whomever she said, she basically just asked the President of the United States, are you gay? Because anyway, it's just, this is what's going on there, because he called them all out because they all called for him to have the 25th Amendment, which, you know, I mean, that's obvious. It's so obvious that even his most ardent conspiracy theorist supporters are saying, get him out. That's how bad it is in the United States of America right now. But her ability to always link everything back to Brigitte. And my favorite part, aside from when she asked the president if he is gay, is she goes, what is your obsession with Brigitte Macron? And I'm like, bitch, you make millions of dollars on this subject. And then comes Alex Jones is weighing in.
More thing out of your mouth. And Laura Loomer, sending this, okay? One more thing. When I've gone through hell back in your ass because you were the lesser of two evils, then I'm going to show you how to cow eat the cabbage. Do one more thing. You should be kissing my ass. But instead, you shit all over me and rub it in. I'm not looking for a fight, but if you want one, you came to the right place.
So I really admire the camera work on his videos. How it's like, I'm going to have Kylie do that. I'm going to do like a message to one of the, and then we come in over here, but he stays focused this way. It's so dramatic. But, you know, it's so bad in the United States that these people, the Megyn Kellys, Tucker Carlson's, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, they are saying, get him out. He has got to go. And I also want to point out one more thing. Yesterday, when Trump said that he thought the meme of him as Jesus Christ was that of a doctor. So he was standing next to a woman who is a grandma DoorDasher, and she was a speaker for No Tax on Tips. Video evidence has found that she's probably some sort of like paid MAGA operative. She's been all around doing this stuff. But nonetheless, here she is at both of those places. What an indictment on DoorDash and the United States of America, that this woman's story is, I'm working extra so that I can raise money to pay for my husband's cancer treatments. And the oligarchs that own DoorDash are so evil. This is their best foot forward. Look at what a great company we are and what a great country we live in. The grandmas of the world are working extra hours, and we're trying to save them just a little bit of money that they would pay on tips so that they can pay for their husband's cancer treatments. The fact that this gets through so many people from DoorDash, a board of directors, with, some millennials that are parking cars, pulling them out of the parking lot, scrambling jets, circling back, that nobody said, I don't know that this looks too good for all of us. And then all the dipshits at the White House are like, well, oh my God, yeah, bring her on. So Pumps, what'd you make of all that?
Well, I just thought, fucking of course. They have a paid operative going to the White House to drop off McDonald's and act like it's just this big, oh my gosh, aren't we so excited? I didn't really jump to her backstory that she was paying for, the cancer treatment of her husband, but you're exactly right. And I'm going to guess she does not get her health insurance through DoorDash, that they do not offer that to their employees.
Right. I just think it's such an indictment on American culture that this was their big photo op of the day, that here is a grandmother that should be retired, that does not have health care, whose husband does not have health care, who has cancer, who is working a job as a delivery woman, who is begging the government not to tax her tips. It's just really an indictment on how we treat working class people, working class elderly people, and how we treat sick people. So the photo op they thought this was, to me, highlights every single problem wrong with MAGA politics, MAGA religious hypocrisy, and the way we treat American working class people.